that was someone else as well, and I was like, "What?" Because
Oh
like
yeah,
Blake's a
I didn't.
friend,
I
but
know
this
you
was
weren't
like
were
someone I didn't know.
talking about Prince.
Mm.
Okay, cool. Cool,
All
cool,
right,
cool,
they can
cool.
hear us
Who was it?
now.
What's the name of that artist you said?
What's good, everybody?
It was from I doubt you'll be able to find them without me telling you their whole handle because their name is deadass just Y.
All right. What's
It's a
going on,
single
guys?
letter. Yeah. All right, hey everyone,
We we
how y'all
got
doing?
the homie
Sebin,
Mike up in
Fur
here
by
today.
Factor. What's
I'm here
good,
today.
y'all?
Hello. No chapter
Yes,
sadly to talk
sir.
about, so we're just gonna be talking about what we think about the flashback and what we think are gonna happen to some characters.
Yep, a
Yep.
general recap so far through these chapters. It's been a banger span of chapters, but we got some
Mhm.
questions to answer. Chat, we want to hear
Yeah.
what you guys think as well, of course.
Yep.
Ty, did you share on the Discord
Yeah.
just so I can send a? Okay, cool, cool, cool. All
And there's
right.
dinner. Okay, I will be back in 10 minutes. I will be incredibly fast. Do not worry.
Bet,
Yeah, that's
bet,
cool, man.
bet.
That's good timing. That's all right.
Yeah, we'll let people
All right, so
trickle
Michael,
back
we'll be
in.
back.
All right, Chad, tell me all your aspirations and your dreams and desires. Let me know. Nah, but like I said, general recap today. Asking some questions. The general sort of things. Like highlight in this span of chapters. What were you most surprised by? Things like that.
Yeah, just kind of like the real big events of the flashback arc so far. So obviously, like all the Mikaboshi stuff, all the Soga clan stuff. We're gonna be talking about the other clans as well. The whole lead up to the war, and of course the most recent, um, forging or rather smelting process. Right as we get to the forging of the EBs. So yeah, we'll just be kicking it, chatting with you guys in chat as well, seeing what you guys have to say. Like Tiberius said, any questions? Um, yeah, just kind of a laid back conversation of what we think of the arc so far and basically what has stood out to us.
Yeah, I mean, because the big thing, I mean, is the whole thing is setting up the Soga and Hiroshima talks, and of course the Mikaboshi. Like the Thousand-Year Blood War. That video, it sounds like there's a video about that.
Oh yeah,
Someone should
it
make
kind
that.
of rings a bell. It's kind of familiar. Someone should make that actually.
The
uh,
but the we and I do have a bone to pick with not you guys, but just in general, right? And I guess I can tackle this now. So with the recent developments and everything that we've gotten, like I think it was chapter 83, Shiba told us that the Enten was the first sword that Kunishige ever co-created with somebody. Now, I get it, the smelting process, that's like the prep work that leads into the forging, cool. But when you say co-created, that makes me feel like, now don't get me wrong, Kunishige deserves most of the credit. The eyes are doing a lot of heavy lifting here, and he's a master swordsmith, so he's gonna do his thing in the forging. But can we not at least like lend some of that credit, or not saying Subaru even wants it for all that, for all the matter, but more so like acknowledge the fact that Subaru did help co-create whatever's about to happen here. Because without him and him having that sorcery and being a master swordsmith himself, no one else would bet their life and gamble their life on someone like Kunishige.
yeah,
You
what's
feel,
crazy is like Shiba was there.
well, he like Fur
Like
by Fact
Shiba
said,
was
I
right
think
there.
Shiba was lying for Chihiro. Like, yeah, like that's very, very possible. Excuse me.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I'll be honest. I'm just not really giving it all that much thought. It feels like a combination of like a I don't like a slight retcon, but that
Yeah.
conversation between Chihiro and Shiba wasn't all like I know it's been a couple of chapters ago. Like obviously we're 125 chapters into the story, and it was a good while ago. But I also think that like Hokazono has had all of this mapped out for a good while now. So I think when he wrote that then, I think he was very much aware that he was gonna have Subaru play a part in this whole thing. I don't think this was like any recent idea. So I think it's more so, I think Sieben, or I'm sorry, excuse me, Fur by Factor. What's up, Sieben? I think Fur by Factor is kind of kind of accurate in that Shiba was lying, but I also don't think Shiba was like doing it on purpose. Like I don't think he was trying to deceive Chihiro or like purposely not mention Subaru. I just think it was more so of like, I just don't think it's that deep. I just think it is what it is. It,
Oh
it might
yeah.
just be that for some reason Subaru isn't involved in the actual forging. But like his input and his role in the smelting is so big and so significant that it is a bit kind of inaccurate to just say that Chihiro was the first person who Kunishige co-created a katana with. So I,
Yeah.
I I just don't think Shiba was thinking about it all that much.
And what's good rage? And honestly, like it's not like a big hang up or anything like to make a big deal about.
No,
It's more along the side, he said the words like co-created, like, and that's kind of being nitpicky, but like
not even
co-create, like,
forging. You didn't actually
yeah,
say
he didn't say
forging.
that's
Yeah.
the first sword. The Enten's the only enchanted blade he forged, with someone else, with help or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, if it was just a normal situation with like the smelting, I could definitely see that. But it's the fact of Kunishige could not do it by himself. Like co-created the blades, Subaru deserves at least a little bit of the credit. Because if y'all could tell me how they would do this without Subaru, I feel y'all, and I would feel y'all. And I'm not even like I don't care enough about it to make a big deal. It's just one thing that I think that like Subaru may not even want credit, to be honest. Like, because I did say in our podcast episode that Subaru, he does kind of give off the vibe of someone that he just might not want credit. He might just be like, after the war was over, he turned in his enchanted blade and he said, I don't want any part of the credit for any of this. I just want to be done with swords and go do my sushi.
I think that's actually pretty likely as well. Like I don't think that's necessarily out of character for a guy like Subaru and what we've seen from him thus far. I think that's you know kind
Yeah.
of on the money.
Subaru
But
is
again, I also
immense
don't.
in this whole situation. Like, the dude plays such a big part. Like, him and Hasumi are like your unsung heroes of Kagurabachi. What's good, Khalil?
1,000%. Yeah, what's good, KJ? And as Steven says, Subaru is the reason Kunishige can actually forge the blades moving forward. So, yeah. But what I was gonna say is like I also don't think that Shiba was being deliberate and like, oh wait, Subaru said he didn't want credit, so let me just tell Chihiro that he's been the first. Like I just. I think Hokazono's kind of played it just like fast and loose.
Yeah, look up
And
to your
again, I
homeless
said in the
dad.
episode, like, yeah, I said in the episode as well that like we might actually get to see what exactly Hokazono meant by that. Like, let's see how the
Shit.
actual forging goes and what happens to Subaru, and maybe there is a specific reasoning to all this, and maybe just Hokazono is being very like very um
Keeping the cards close
just
to his
just
chest.
on. Yeah, but also like he knows exactly what he's doing is more so what I'm trying to say. Like I said, like I'm pretty sure he's had all of this mapped out for a good minute now. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's very aware of that line as he's kind of writing these recent chapters, and maybe the forging of the actual blades will give us a better insight of why it is that Shiba said that line. But again, I'm also trying not to think too deep on it, really.
Yeah, it's just like I said, it's a nitpick thing, and like I think that,
Yeah.
it's almost, because like I said, and I think everyone would agree that it actually reads Bahachi that Subaru doesn't care necessarily like, you know, he like for that kind of fame or anything. Like, dude, literally, he's like, I just want to run my like, you know, sushi place, and
He's
you know,
already a treasure of Japan.
yeah, like
He doesn't need any more
he don't need to make a name
credit,
for himself. He made a name.
He's already.
Yeah, like, you know, like he says, he's almost enamored by the devotion of Kunishige, because he could tell he's a quality swordsmith. He can tell, you know, that there's something to believe in, you know, but like he wants to see that like feeling come to life. He wants that payoff of like, yeah, show me, youngster, show me what like you can do, and you know, ball out. And then we put Jalen Brunson on his face.
Oh, stop it, not this again. I think, you know, shout out Rage, this is just a side quest for him now. Like, yeah, I think that's
imagine saving Japan's a side quest. Absolute Chad Subaru, that guy.
I mean, well, you know, when gripping is your whole, you know, life purpose, and you're already a treasure of Japan, you know, I feel like he's just chilling.
Shout out to the big grippers, that can multiply.
Yeah.
Infinite grippers.
But yeah, shout out Subaru's gripping technique.
Yeah, that sand and bone style. Or whatever the fuck it
sand
is.
and bone, yeah. We've yet to see that. But let's reel things back in a bit, and let's.
I was gonna wait for Mike Ups. Since he said he was going to inhale his food. Yep, there he is.
I'm back. You said my name, and I appeared.
Oh yeah, boy, popped up like magic.
Dude, I ate that fucking pasta with sausage so fucking fast.
Damn.
Oh, nice. Good eats.
That's good eats, yeah. Though if an Italian came in this house, I think they'd like rip me in half like a Viltrumite.
Oh my.
Okay. All right, well, yeah, like I think we can just start by doing like a very just light recap of, obviously, you know, February 18th, the island of Shikoku appears. There's some, you know, skirmishes.
Some bullshit going on.
Some bullshit going on for around 2 years. Obviously, Datsenseki comes into play. We got the cap dude. Obviously, Shiba makes his grand entrance. We find out that, like I said, there's been some skirmishes for the past 2 years between the Mikaboshi, which we don't exactly know are the Mikaboshi at this point in time, and the people trying to extract Datsenseki from Hiroshima. There wasn't really like head-to-head conflict at this point, more so like, you know, like tactics, diversionary tactics, I think that's what it stated.
Yeah.
Something along those lines. So yeah, and of course they're trying to avoid all-out war. We know exactly what's going to happen. So yeah, what are your kind of any thoughts on like on this specific like intro of the Seitei War arc? Meet Shiba, meet Shiba. Obviously, we know young Shiba. We meet Mashiro, and go ahead, Mike.
One thing for me, I just find it crazy that Husumi has been a better mentor to Shiba than Ichiki ever has.
This is factual.
Like, good point.
Like, he genuinely has done more for that man than Ichiki has, period. Like, he got him the Datsenseki. What did Ichiki do? Damn, we're using babies? That's terrible. Am I gonna do something? Nah.
I'm against it. I'm against it, though.
That dude sucks. That dude actually sucks.
Yes, Subaru's also against it, but he's putting his life on the line to help come up with a different plan, to help come up with, so they don't have to do that. Like, you know? He's putting all the stops.
You're either being a heroic guy or a piece of shit. But if you're in the middle, you might as well just go all in on being a piece of shit like Izaru. I have more like respect for Izaru because that guy is so deep into being an asshole. I genuinely respect it.
Being deep in the asshole's crazy.
Okay, come on now.
No, that's not crazy to say though. I agree with you actually, especially because, you know, me and Tiberius, we actually fuck with Izaru. I think us three in this stream right now are probably the only guys that actually kind of fuck with Izaru in the whole
Yeah,
fandom.
man plays his
Uh,
role
No,
really
I actually
well.
got people. I got artists now who draw Izaru because they like how I talk about him.
okay, so you're pushing the Izaru agenda. I fuck with
I
it.
push it,
Love to
but I
see
don't
it.
push it as in, guys, he's stronger than you think. I push it as in, I just think
No,
he's a
no.
lot more interesting than people give him.
1000%. I think he's a very interesting character. And what you're
Because,
saying, I
like,
think specifically speaks to that.
the funniest part about him is if you go through every single one of his appearance, that guy has never agreed to anything, period. He just doesn't like agreeing with shit. Like, even the plan with Hiyuki and using her when the moment Flamebone comes in, if you go to the meeting, he's the only guy who's like, that's not a good idea. And he, like, does the plan still go forward? Yeah, but he's just disagreeing with it for the love of the game. He didn't like the Blade plan. He didn't like the Hiyuki plan. He just doesn't like anything.
He's okay with being wrong.
Bonafide hater.
That man's just okay with being wrong, and he just continues to like. He'll still play that that opposition to whatever's going on. He's opposing it. But like,
Yeah,
hey, he can't hold his little beads anymore though. So I don't know what's he gonna do going forward. Unless maybe Best Genius, maybe he starts to, maybe Best Genius will put his hands back on for him.
Oh yeah, under
I saw
Nakamura,
some fun facts that could be important in some chapters coming up. I saw some translations, like, of people talking about how, like, certain people refer to people. The way that Akamura refers to Izaru is a way which means he has a lot of respect for him. So Izaru might have been another one of the people who kind of pushed Akamura to becoming a genocidal maniac.
Maybe that's just why he cut his hands and not his whole head off,
Yeah, because I'm sorry, like, he genuinely, because he did that, then he looked over and he was like, Mr. Izaru, and in like a really respectful tone. So it's meant to be kind of comedic. Like, you just did that, and then you turn around and you talk to the guy like he's your sensei.
Okay, Angry Demon Noises, Izaru, new Hishaku member. Well, nah, technically, he's still just a Kawanabe member. They just under new leadership.
Yeah. I'm of the opinion as well that most of the Ishaku will probably stay in there. It's a lot of weird shit about Yura right now, like what's going on with Yura's body, because like when Akamura is standing in front of the crowd, it's still him in Yura's body. He's not back in his body because the scar that Samura gave him across the chest is still paining him.
Yeah, and Hokuto. Even Hokuto is like Yura.
Yeah, Hokuto is not joining the new Kaminabi. That man was that he was like, you're in Yura's body, but you're not Yura.
Yeah, like
it's definitely gonna be interesting to see what happens.
Hirohiko's kind of like a wild card, but he also is contracted to the Kumiyuri, so it'd be interesting if Akamura's like
Kumiyuri. That's a weird place.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. Like another thing you bring up, like with Hakuri technically could get like 3 or 4 swords in the storehouse now. Like he's literally like bink, bink, bink. Like they all kind of right there. With meeting Subaru, he should be able to meet the Pink Bear unless they just don't know, like Hiyuki, they didn't know where Hiyuki went and they don't have no contact with her. That'd be the only way they can't get that one.
I'm still of the opinion, obviously I think Hiyuki was guarding Pink Bear. It was said that, like fucking Ichiki. Yeah. He's the guy who said that he sent Hiyuki out to be a bodyguard.
And Shiba was at Subaru's sushi spot. So unless Shiba and Hiyuki Hiyuki really just met Shiba, because before the Rakuzaichi, she was like, "Who's this guy?" So I don't know how cool they got over the time, but we'll have to see about that.
I still think I'm thinking at the beginning when we cut back to, I'm not sure if part 2 will be in like 2 separate halves. Like we'll get the flashback, then we'll cut back to the current time, or like part 2 is the flashback, and then we got a part 3 after this. Like I'm not sure how it'll go, but my opinion is that when we come back to the present, we're not going to be following Chihiro's POV. I think we're going to be following someone in the new Kaminabi's POV for a bit.
I'm down for that. I think that'd be pretty interesting, just to kind of.
I think I've had this like really big, kind of like reoccurring, like I would really like to see this happen. I think Hiyuki is gonna fall for that Akamura propaganda at the beginning and be like, this is the guy I have been wanting to be my boss. This is a guy of action. He's not like Kasen or Ichiki. He's genuinely letting me go out and destroy these sorcery clans. But then during a mission where they go on it together, she's probably gonna see that dude kill a kid, and that's when it's like, oh, that's why we had him under the prison.
Yeah. Oh, that's why. Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah, it's gonna
oh,
be
that's
that.
yeah, that makes sense now.
Yeah, I mean, me and Ty have been talking about that for a while now. We very much entertained the idea of Hiyuki being sympathetic to Akamura's beliefs. Um, so yeah, it's cool to see that you also entertain that as a huge possibility or think it's likely. So yeah, it's definitely going to be very interesting to see how that unfolds. Just kind of going back to the bit of a Seitei War recap. Uh, obviously Shiba takes that Seki that he takes from the criminals or whatever, takes it to Kunishige against Tasumi's orders. That sets off like a whole chain of events, right? We meet Subaru. We find out about the whole veins thing. Which do you guys think? I mean, I think this might be a pretty dumb question, but do you guys think that we'll get to see more on like the veins, or do you guys think that that was already like kind of just introduced as like the science behind the enchanted blades, and we know how that works, and that's kind of like it. Like we saw
I
it most
think
recently mentioned in
I
that
could see that being a
conversation, right?
maybe because the next chapter, well, I mean, we don't really know. Hokuzen is a kind of really all over the place guy, so we could have like 2 chapters before we see that enchanted blade appear. But when we do get it, it's kind of going to be explained. However, the veins, that's more of Subaru's talent and not really Kunishige's. So like Kunishige might even be like, "Oh, I'm going to do it in a whole different way." That's like not even veins.
Interesting,
That could
interesting.
and that could be the difference of like when we catch back up to Chihiro, maybe he uses that method or something like a composite method of what he does know from Kunishige, because he was just 15 and we actually don't know exactly how much he was actually doing and creating the N10.
Yeah.
And it's been 3 years like of him just not touching any swordsmithing stuff. Like sure he still has his notes, but like maybe the veins will come into play with like helping him cross that last obstacle in the forging process and to create his own thing.
I've seen a lot of people talk about Hatshaku in chat. I'd love to talk about that guy
Yeah, I want to
because
ask y'all
that
before we get
guy.
into Hatshaku. I did have a question for y'all just to kind of stay on topic.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
why did, or I guess maybe for the plot reasons, like there was a 2 year difference, 2 year time jump from in 113 from when the earthquake happened, and then when we catch back up to Shiba and all that, right? So
Okay.
why do you think they waited 2 years to like reach out to the Soga for a meeting, or to reach out to Japan for a meeting, talking about the Mikaboshi?
Um,
Hmm.
I got a few theories on that. One has to do with the death of the princess before Chiaki, because she died around the time that earthquake happened. Like, we don't know the exact date, but it seems to be around the time that earthquake happened. And
Yeah,
then it also,
they say
so
that
it's kind
her
of weird.
2 years,
I'm
she
thinking they were
awakened it
waiting
two
for a
years
princess to
ago.
pop up. That's what I
Yeah,
was thinking. I'm thinking they're waiting for it to be like, oh, they definitely have a princess now. Let's go. Like, I think they're waiting for that, basically.
yeah, because all we know is like in 116 they say that she awakened her ability 2 years ago, which would place it right around the earthquake. But we don't know
Mhm.
when, exactly. 2 years is kind of a, that's a wide
Yeah.
range. But
It's pretty.
I just always thought like that 2 years is, I mean, literally the 2 years on the Soga side means that, obviously Akamura has reached Akamura and Chiaki reached such illustrious heights, as that one Soga helper was saying. And, I'm just wondering if there's a if we find out later on if there's a reason why the Mikaboshi decided to wait 2 years. Because if the Mikaboshi pull up earlier than this, they might just cook Japan.
So honestly, I think we have that answer already in terms of why exactly it is that they waited those 2 years. And I think that answer is literally in 113. And it comes from the good old Mr. David Swimmer,
Oh,
or
that's
however it is
right.
that you call him, Tiberius. He says
They have to get
they're
used to
preparing
the.
the
Oh,
sunlight. He says they're probably preparing. They emerged from the depths of the ocean, right? So they have to get used to sunlight. they need to train for land battle. And obviously he goes on to say they're doing military exercise over there as we speak. So he's kind of adding some, some extra sauce to the whole thing, just kind of spreading the paranoia. But I think he was right on the money, especially with how we see the Mikaboshi move and how they immediately deceive the Japanese government by just baiting them into like a pretense of negotiation, and then boom, immediately ambush them. Like they had no interest in actually sitting down for a legit talk,
Oh yeah.
I think that guy was right. I think it was like half, I think it was Hokazono's way of letting us know. But obviously at that point, we're kind of not really sure if we can take this guy as a reliable narrator. But I think with what we see unfold in the like chapters after that, looking back at this, to me, it feels like he was probably right, especially because at the beginning, like I brought up a couple of minutes ago, they were using diversionary tactics. They weren't really trying to fight head on at the beginning. But yeah, I'm of the belief that that's exactly why they waited to the 2 years. They just wanted to make sure that they can absolutely squash these guys.
Yeah, I mean, taking 2 years, I mean, hey, for the plot's sake, I guess it works out,
Oh yeah, Mike, I know you wanted to get into Hatshaku. Is there anything anything you want to push?
Because like Hatshaku as a character has always kind of bugged me, because it's hard to put a pin on what he is exactly. And I've come to the conclusion, personally, that what he is basically it's weird to like kind of phrase this, but it's like if Black Zetsu was the final villain of Naruto, right? There wasn't the freaking alien Akatsuki shit. Not Akatsuki. What are they called again? It's been a while since I read Boruto.
Otsutsuki.
Yeah,
those guys. Like, it's none of that. It's just that, like, because he definitely is the reason Yura is Yura. Like, totally, he came in when that house or whatever burned down, and he popped it and he started whispering in Yura's ear. Because he's old, like really old compared to everyone else in the Ishaku. And he's got the weird eye going on, and now we know that black spiritual energy is energy at its purest form. So the fact he has a black eye is pretty weird too, because we've only ever seen that with the Magatsumi.
Yeah.
Not to mention just pine trees just everywhere in the chapters, just everywhere. Pine tree at the Hiroshima talk. Pine tree
Yuki.
Out.
Literally everywhere.
Hey, not if Giyu has anything to say about it.
Oh yeah, kick down the trees, guys.
He's like, I'm tired of this shit.
What was more impressive? Natsuki going low diff with 2 logs, or Giyu kicking a tree?
Yeah, we wood cutting scale.
Yeah. I mean, I love Natsuki, but I guess I'll give it to Giyu.
Yeah, I mean, because he did that with his foot, or whatever. But
yeah, presumably so, right?
But yeah, I kind of made the parallel to like Hatshaku and Zetsu as well. Also, like I feel like he could, and I've said this a few times on streamer and videos or whatever, but about him kind of playing as Yura went on a journey to like get revenge, or a journey to basically right the wrongs that he sees fit, whatever you want to call it. Hatshaku enabled him along that journey, gave him like the ins and outs of like where to find these strong sorcerers, kind of made the play, and basically being the Shiba for Yura. As Shiba enables Chihiro and gets the information and knows like the inner workings of the sorcery world, Hatshaku did that for Yura.
It's like he's basically that voice in the back of your head that goes, "You won't."
Yeah, with bad fashion sense. Like if that voice had bad fashion sense.
Horrible fashion sense.
Dude, you gotta be pissed off when you see freaking Best Jeanist and Yuki Sada walk into the Hatshaku meeting, because everyone else has that shit on in the Ishaku. It's literally just those two.
Dude, I deadass like Hatshaku's fit pisses me like by far, like so much more than Best Jeanist and
really Yuki I love what he's got on. It's so cool.
Hatshaku?
Yeah, what about it? What's bad about it?
Oh, bro, the fedora with the braid, and then he's got like half a tux, but also like part of the traditional kimono garb. Like, bro,
Yeah, dude, that's Yakuza
pick.
stuff, man. It's cool.
I don't know, man. Agree to disagree,
He's
but
the
yeah,
one dude who can wear the Redditor hat and genuinely make it look kind of cool.
well, yeah, I think he looks all right from from the torso up, and I think the moment that I see his whole fit is where I'm like, okay, buddy. But yeah, at least Hatshaku has a he's got a fan in
He
you when
looks
it
like
comes
he
to the
would
fit.
talk
So
about. He looks like he would talk like, man, she. You know, he looks like that kind of
Like a
guy.
fucking gangster, like a mob boss.
Yeah, like man, she.
yeah,
But in
like a
a
50s
but
mob
a
boss. He's just
Japanese
missing the
accent.
cigar.
And if you try to do that, that's cultural appropriation.
Yeah, so don't. No, but Mike, because obviously me and Taya talk all the time. So I got a question for you, and then from there, I guess you can go into like what your Hatshaku theory is. But do you think he is
Oh, I'm about to say.
still the the delegate? Which obviously we know is everything points to him actually having died on the island.
Dude, if you
Or do
talk
you
to
think?
Alonz, if you bring up the delegate with Alonz, that guy genuinely undergoes psychosis. I'm not joking.
So does
It's terrible.
Dice. So does Dice. Don't worry.
He's like,
I mean,
no, you don't understand. You don't understand.
They're gonna
like I
walk
just
out of the grave and.
I just haven't closed the door yet on that being a legitimate like like actually being a valid theory in terms of it actually being true. I think it's very possible that Hokuzono is like very much playing with us on purpose. There's the left eye, right? It's the left eye or the right eye? It's the right eye. I'm forgetting right now, but anyways,
I'm forgetting
I
too. I
don't.
think it's the right eye. No,
Yeah,
yeah,
because
it's the
he's
right
got
eye. It's the right
the
eye.
sign. Yeah, the sign on the left hand, and it's the right eye, I think. So yeah,
Hmm.
so I think Hokuzono could very much just be playing with us, where like he's kind of doing all these things with the delegate, so it kind of looks like it could potentially be Hatshaku just as a big red herring. But ultimately, my question is: you think it's more likely that it's still the delegate, or that Hatshaku is actually related to one of those clans that we get to meet in the flashback, where we get that little graphic of like the Sazanami, the Hero, the Ushi, the Toride, it looks like Ko, Soga, all those guys. Which one do you think is more likely? And again, feel free to push your Hatshaku theory.
I know who
I don't
Hatshaku
know,
is,
dude.
but
It's so hard theorizing about that guy. He's just weird. Everything
Do you
about him
even
is
have?
weird.
I mean, I agree. I think at this point, I don't even have like a specific theory when it comes to Hatshaku anymore, just because of how
bro,
much has happened.
look,
So do you?
Hatshaku is the kid. It says the first
There we go.
Soga princess didn't give birth to a proper heir, which means it didn't give birth to a female. But it's possible that she gave birth to a boy, and that boy. Now we didn't see any tree sorcery in the Soga clan. I mean, we didn't see any sorcery aside from Kuratsuchi in the Soga clan, to be fair. And when the mom died, they just kicked his little orphan. They just made that boy an orphan.
Oh, okay. So you think Hatshaku is a child of the previous
the
Soga
previous
princess?
Princess Soga.
I don't think that's crazy actually. I think because I think I think that's definitely better than Yura being a Soga. I'll be honest, because I'm very much a
You're just. I think
a
people need to
fan.
understand. You're just a dude. That's the
Yeah.
whole point of his
Yes.
character.
He didn't even fight in the
Exactly.
war.
Like,
He doesn't have a sorcery. He,
Yeah.
like he was a regular ass dude up until after
I
the
mean, I do think.
events.
Don't get me wrong. There is some weird shit going on with that dude because he genuinely acts like a corpse. But who he was before the war, that isn't important. Now his wife, that's the really weird one. Cause like there's some weird shit going on with his wife. But him, he was just a dude.
Yeah, it's like I like the thing of him, like his conviction being so strong for him to like undergo training to be able to box with two sword masters, in a fight.
Well,
Like,
now it's the weird part about how it's phrased every time they talk about Yura's like how Yura fights. It's always that like he seems to be so flexible to the point like it's inhuman. Like a character shouldn't be moving like this.
I think he does
And
yoga.
anytime I
Okay,
think about that, Anytime I hear about that, I think corpse puppets. That's what I think about.
Are you still do you still hold on to that wife theory of yours you shared on
Oh
the,
yeah, I'm
when we
still
had you
so
on
on
stream?
that. I think there's some like pain
Uh,
shit going on. I think that man is a puppet, and I think he died
okay.
that day and not the wife.
Interesting. I've actually, after you brought that up, I have seen a couple of people literally
Yeah. Like
sharing the
it's
same
just like
theory. So
why would you start a flashback from her eyes? That makes so like that is crazy to me. Like if you go back to that the first panel of that flashback, we see her holding out her hand, looking at her ring. And you might just think, "Oh,
yeah,
that's just a shot of her hand." But when we zoom back, when the shot of the panel moves backwards, we see that she is holding out that exact hand in front of her eyes, meaning that the first panel was her point of view.
yeah,
Like
that's interesting.
that's crazy to me. That is crazy to me.
Yeah, so I mean, we're kind of jumping all over the place here, but like I said, that
Mm.
is kind of the, how this conversation was going to go. So on this similar topic, what's your thought on like Chiaki's prophecy that includes the surroundings where we saw Yura in that same flashback you're alluding to?
Yeah, that
Chiaki's vision doesn't have him. So what do you how did you interpret that, or how do you currently interpret that? And
my
Ty, then you can
interpretation
obviously
as
go and
of
cook.
now is one of two things. One, dude, Hokuzono was being whipped when he made that chapter. He probably had to think on his feet. Or
Okay.
two, it's meant to show that because of how things went, new victims were made. Like it's basically meant to show that like
Yes, I
things
see.
could have ended in a different way, where different people died. But the way things went, like this happened, and that causes this. It's meant to show that like no matter how good of intentions you have, or how hard you try to change something, there can still be negative effects.
Interesting. Interesting.
It's a
How
lot
about
more
you,
of a
Ty?
themes and such kind of situation than it is like, oh, this brings up a lot of interesting theories. No, it's more like a themes kind of thing.
Oh, I'm with you. I'm with you. I've entertained that as well. It's not about Yura the character, but more so Yura the symbol. When it comes to
Yeah.
like the impact of what Yura fights for, about like people being left abandoned, without a hero. Japan left in disarray essentially. I was of those of like similar to what you're saying, kind of those. I didn't really consider the fact that Hokuzono was being whipped, but more so like, yeah, we can interpret it as like Yura's directly, like there could be some direct connection when it comes to Yura, because obviously the prophecy thing, you can look at like the dots underneath their eyes if you want to kind of read into that. And like now this is like, you can kind of start putting all those dots together and think like, okay, there could be a direct relation or connection between Yura and Chiaki, or like you're talking about, Mike. It could be more so like the symbol, the theme of what it is that was lost, what it is that that changed Japan. Where do you stand on this, Ty?
I think that whole thing is basically about her. She sees the visions of, because like the page, the following page, like, or the very next like words we see her talk on the following page is about like if she doesn't take her duty, or if she doesn't take care of her responsibilities, like something like that can happen. And I think that basically there's going to be, we know that she ends up losing her life. So or there's people who think she's still alive. I think she's dead. But without there being a symbol of that like agreement, that symbol of like, the sorcery world won't interfere with regular society. Now, of course, at this point, normal citizens will have known about the excuse me, the be aware of just sorcerers in general because of the war they had to fight. They'll know that there actual exists among them. So one, they would have some know-how of them, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the Soga Princess's duty still, or like the what she means as like a symbol still doesn't stand. So her not being around, because we know she's not around in present day at least, but her not being around and presumably died at the around that time or before that happened, that is what kind of allowed the rogue sorcerers to go nuts. That's what allowed them to, cause destruction. So that like panel is more of like, kind of y'all say like themes and such, or like just a symbol of all the people that are affected by there being no symbol, no Princess Soga. But
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
and of course there's still like there's a little bit of, there's layers to this as well, because Yura blames the enchanted blades being sealed for that happening, right? And Akamura caused that. So it's like, yeah, like you could say that the Princess Soga not being a thing in that world and not existing allowed for them to do it. It's just kind of like, then you add the enchanted blades being sealed to the equation, and it's like that kind of muddles it for me, because then it's like, I wonder how Yura would feel if he knew, like, Chihiro's mom was Princess Soga and what that meant to the world.
You probably do know that. He knows a lot of weird things.
I mean, that was actually going to be my follow-up question, because of the way the Mikaboshi, and me and Tiberius kind of talked about this before we hopped on the stream, before we kicked this thing off, because of the way like the Mikaboshi are talked about, in terms of like there being some like myths and like actual, written history about them, and like the feud with the Soga clan. And obviously in part 1, Hokuzono was keeping things very close to his chest. Like, we don't know what the Islanders are even called. They're just called Islanders until we find out about the Mikaboshi. Do you guys think that again, like, Yura is up to speed when it comes to like the Soga clan and the Mikaboshi, and that having been the feud that kind of led up to the Seitei War? Where do you got, like, what do you, and Micah, you can, because you seem to have like an idea or about this. Do you think that Yura just knows everything when it comes to the Soga and the Mikaboshi?
It's weird around him. I think he knows most of it. I think he's got a general idea, but maybe like some of the specifics, maybe about what the king was threatening Chiaki with and stuff like that. I don't think he knows about that stuff.
Okay. Okay, how about you, Ty?
Yeah, I mean, that, like, he, from
It's hard
what,
to say, right?
yeah, because like what he told Samura, it definitely didn't feel like he had like any awareness of like Hiroshima
The full
per
picture.
se. What'd you say? I'm sorry.
No, the full picture.
Oh yeah, like he definitely didn't have the full picture. Like, I don't, like, if he does know about Princess Soga and what that exactly meant to the world, like, we talked a little bit about this, but like it's only 18 years ago. So unless they did some kind of sorcery, like mass, like memory wipe sorcery, I mean, technically sorcerers are the only ones that know. So it's not like they have to wipe everyone's memory, I guess. But I don't think he knows that, like, if he does know Princess Soga and what she meant to Japan and sorcery, I don't think he knows that was Chihiro's mom. But boy, if he found out, that boy would be seething even more.
Oh, like, it's interesting that you bring up like the memory wipe stuff, like when it comes to obviously the seal on all of Japan, and when it comes to like Yori and Samura and her whole existence. I wonder if something like that was at play when it after the war, in terms of just wiping certain things just completely off the history books. That is, I hadn't really considered that.
Yeah, because like, remember,
So that's
Yori's
actually
dead, and like, people that like looked at her, that entire time wouldn't like tell it's her. So
recognize her, yeah.
yes, I mean, you never know what, like, there's a precedent in the series for that. So, it's already there. It just depends if like Hokuzono is gonna reach for it again. Hey, what's good, Noah? I made this too. Ooh, I'm gonna make a name for
That's
myself.
Yeah, I hadn't considered that at all, really.
What do you think, Dice?
Yeah, that's. I guess if I had to say, I'm kind of like what Micah said. I think I think it's very likely Yura knows some things, especially when it comes to like just the general idea of the Mikaboshi and the Soga clan, and that ancient feud. I think when it comes to the finer details, like what you said about like what happened on Hiroshima, um, specifically that Chiaki got with Kunishige, I think those are things that it's very possible that Yura doesn't know about. Um, but it's hard to say with a character like Yura, man. Like he's such a good, like, I mean, a master manipulator, really. Like he knows what to say, and like he
Facts.
knows just what to show in, like, from his hand. Like he kind of like makes you think something that like he knows, like, this much, but he might be keeping things close to his chest, and like
Yeah,
just basically not letting on everything that he knows, right? But kind of make you think that he is.
Oh yeah, bro will
So
speak with
I
full
don't know.
conviction, be chatting utter shit.
Yeah, kind of like Subaru, right?
Oh, the big gripper. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess, yeah, let's talk a bit about Subaru. I mean, we talked a bit about the veins. He's basically the guy that gives Kunishige the chance to really redeem himself, and or not redeem himself, right? But just gives him an opportunity to show what he's got when it comes to crafting these enchanted blades. Um, what are your guys' thoughts on Subaru as a character, and like his impact, not just in this flashback arc, but like the story moving forward? Like, I know, Tiberius, you think he's probably gonna, you know, either be dead when we come back to the present, or not really stick around for too
Yeah,
long.
time short for that guy.
Yeah, yeah, like, yeah, I think you might be cooking with that one. What do you think, Mike?
Um, I don't know. He's pretty straightforward as a dude so far. I don't got many questions about him, honestly. I wonder where he got that scar
You
from. That's my main.
you think he's gonna stick around?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, he ain't going nowhere. He's having the time of his life. Like when he's talking about Kunishige, he's like, I want to get my blood pumping again. I want to find something that excites me. He's like, he's having the time of his life with Kunishige. He's breaking the
Uh,
law.
it
He's
might be
got the
me.
government after them. They're forging like
I think
metal
my
that's never
signal
been discovered in
is
Japan.
horrible. I'll be right back. I'm sorry.
Bet no problem.
Uh,
Yeah, I think he was talking about like when we cut back to regular time. Do you think he's gonna like stay around for a while, or you think he's cooked relatively soon?
I think I don't think he'll die very fast. I think we're gonna get a decent dynamic with him and Chihiro, and then he'll die. But I think it's very important that Chihiro has some sort of relationship with him first. Like he's gonna give him insight on Kunoshige that's gonna be like really nice for Chihiro to hear. I feel like he's gonna be like, "Oh, your dad was kind of a dumbass, but a respectful dumbass."
Yeah, like
Like someone who will criticize Kunoshige, but in an honest way, not someone who
yeah,
blindly follows him like Shiba, or someone who despises him like Yura, but someone who was a friend of his but could still understand his flaws.
yeah. Like I was telling Dice one time, a few episodes back, that the good thing about Subaru will he will be able to like because he met Kunishige like during all of this, like so he has like no ties to like no childhood ties, like it's a blank slate. He sees Kunishige for the man he is, and the man he was before being the savior of Japan, and the man he was during and after, with like no clear bias. He's like basically like you know, getting that blood pumping by watching him like, chase this ambition to like save his girl and all that. But so like that conversation between like him and Chihiro, I think would be, really, really good to see like a different lens of his father. That someone that doesn't feel like they need to protect him from any information, like maybe Shiba was, or withhold anything. He'll just, he's just straight shooter. Like, and
Mhm.
he's like one of them old heads. He's gonna tell it like it is. So I do, that's how like I was kind of on the same vibe with that. And I mean, I could see him basically helping, basically being the bridge to help join like Chihiro's, where he is now and where he needs to get to in order to craft his EB. like Subaru is that bridge, and like I do think that's like his last contribution. Well, no, let me rephrase that. That's his last like big big like narrative role, but I could also see him as like Chihiro's either like finishing up forging it or like just to help them get away. He holds like whoever comes and tries to kill him, the attack, his attackers, and of course they'll probably send like Kaguri and all that. But I could see him losing his life because he is an older man now too. I mean, he was old during the war. Now, he's what? It's been 18 years. He's even older, and he's probably hasn't touched an actual like legit katana. He's probably like been removed from sword fighting and all that, and making swords since the war.
Depends. Like, was it just a Ruha who was dead ass not doing shit for 18 years, or do you think he was too?
I mean, I think he just cared about making sushi.
True, but then again, to him, sushi is that.
Well, they have the grip, the onigiri, or the whatever it was. I agree. Like, I'm not saying he's like more so like being like just super rusty or anything. It's more a sense of like losing his like thrill of battle, almost kind of like Ibiki, but not to the same degree, because he is gonna put up a fight, and I can see him taking out a lot of people. But if I can imagine with Akamura being there and knowing who Subaru is, he's gonna send adequate force to go take care of him. And plus, I mean, well, age isn't all that much, because Itsuo Shirikai he probably could live to 150 and still, murder droves of people.
I am curious
I'm back.
if we're gonna get a fight.
Apologies.
Oh, hey, man. I am curious if we'll get a fight with him where he uses his sorcery before he gets the enchanted blade. Because we know the Masumi are after them. So maybe we'll get a Subaru versus Masumi fight where we get to see how he uses his sword style and his sorcery.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because that sorcery is, like, to be a master swordsman, and you could, like, clone yourself, have shadow clones, like, crazy. Unless, like, the damage he also gets, like, the damage that they feel, then that would be a shitty drawback. But I mean, that remains to be seen.
Dude, I would love to see how like him and his sorcery matches up against Hokuto and his sorcery, which we really like. It's interesting how we've actually seen more of Subaru's sorcery than we've seen of Hokuto, but we've actually seen Hokuto fight a lot more. But yeah, it's kind of like I just thought of that. I think it would be a very interesting matchup.
Yeah.
I'm still curious why the fuck the Masumi are following Izaru, because the Masumi, they're like their moral is like they follow people who they have a lot of respect for, or people who have like an impact or something like that. And I get that Izaru is part of the Sorcery Bureau, but he's not even the leader of the Sorcery Bureau. So like,
he's not even,
why him specifically?
Yeah, he doesn't even become a white robe of the newly formed Kabunabi. Like, but he was there from like before. You know what I mean? Like, we don't even see Yatsuru anywhere, and she's a white robe.
Oh, he's always had some pretty weird connections too, because like he's the person Kiri chose to serve under, and like, so like, does that imply that
he's
although
like,
although
Itsuo's
Izaru
peak,
is like,
he thinks Itsuo might be peak or some shit.
Does that imply that Izaru, despite being like insanely like I am like I despise like rebellious behavior because he doesn't like Kunoshige or Shiba or anyone like that, he hates that shit, but he's not sexist because Kiri is willing to work under him compared to everyone else.
True, that's a good point.
Is he like Akamura, where he's got some crazy ass beliefs, but he just draws the line at sexism?
It just depends on like where you fit into like the white and the black. You know what I mean? Like, you're on this side, you're cool. But you could be
the moral. Yeah, go ahead, Ty.
Oh no, you're good. What were you about to say?
I was just gonna say, like, the moral spectrum in Kagurabachi is just so wild when you look at like all these different characters and when like where, like Mike Up says, where they're willing to draw the line. Like, you got fucking someone like Itsuo Shirikai, but then you turn around and have somebody like Akamura, right? So it's like, and like, yeah, like Izaru, like, I don't even know, it's just random as shit. But what can you do?
Yeah, that's a bocce. That's our bocce.
Yeah.
That's our bocce.
Yeah.
Damn. Chat slipping
Um,
on y'all sleeping on Hasumi that much? Man, Hasumi's the
What?
unsung
Yo, don't
hero.
even slip me.
yeah, Hasumi is probably among my favorite actors of this whole arc so
Asumi
far.
and
Oh,
Like,
Junpei are funny as
he's
fuck.
dead, yeah.
Hokuzono
Hasumi, they put his ass
Hokuzono
6
just
feet deep.
loves drawing side characters, man. That dude cannot resist having like the group of important characters and then some random fucking dude. That is his favorite thing in the world to do. Just like have all your important characters and be like, oh yeah, by the way, there's this guy here too. Like the dude with the toothpick at the Rakuzaichi. He always just has to have a random fucking dude in the area.
yeah, I mean, and what's crazy is that we probably got like a younger look at that dude in what was it, a couple of chapters ago
Yeah, the
when we
one
got
where
like
we
our first look of
saw
him Asumi.
Kudo like showed up in that panel.
Like I'm pretty sure that was that same guy from the Rakuzaichi. He had
Yeah.
the toothpick as well. His teeth were
The
looking kind of funny.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
had the fucking the fence board teeth.
Yeah.
Horse
Piece
face
of teeth,
ass. Yeah, and topside and everybody. I don't think like Hasumi was gonna beat him, but I think that man deserves more than 7%.
Well, I think it's like someone said in chat.
Rule of cool.
Top say nerve. You
That's-
put Aryu there.
Well, yeah, that's all
You know?
that's all I was talking to. Like, I expect him to do better than 7% though.
Yeah, well,
Hey,
again,
yo,
he's the
Subaru-
unsung hero
Yeah.
for a reason.
Well, Subaru is
Yeah.
another unsung hero because without Subaru, they not getting the enchanted blades made.
yeah,
Like, you know, Hasumi, you could at least argue they would still be able to steal the Datanseki because of who Shiba is and his ability. That was always, it's more along the lines of Hasumi just kind of was like the voice the voice of the reader, the voice of reason really, because he didn't believe in what they chose to do, so he made he basically stuck his neck out for what he believed in, and then but Shiba could still always just take that Datanseki. No one's gonna be able to stop him. So, but without Subaru, they're not making the EBs. Japan is cooked without Subaru because no one else, especially a group of people, are not gonna like bet their life on someone like Kunishige.
Mm-hmm. So I do gotta say, like, hearing that Chiaki prophecy kind of like it makes the Sorcery Barrow's position a little more believable. Because if Miss I Can See the Future told me that if we give this ore to a swordsmith, they're genuinely nuking Japan, I would kind of be like, maybe the baby idea isn't the worst.
that's a good way to put it. How did you
Like-
feel about like that reveal like then? Because we knew nothing about that. That's just kind of dropped to us in the most recent chapter.
Yeah,
like,
dude, I had people on my dick in my comments being like, you're calling Kunishige selfish because he's still forging despite knowing the prophecy? And I'm like, yeah, he might be doing things to maybe prevent the explosion, but he's still doing something innately selfish because he's choosing to be like, okay, I can prevent this problem from happening because I have to, right? Kunishige is the kind of guy where it's like, if I don't eat both cakes, I'd rather eat no cakes.
I don't know. He was starving.
Yeah, he's the guy who's got to have it all. That's kind of what he believes in. Oh, at least now. Before he kind of settled, but now that he knows like what life awaits Chiaki, if he chooses to do nothing, he'd rather do everything he can.
So were you giving like
he's still doing
Kunishige
something really
shit?
stupid, right? Because let's say the forging process doesn't explode, and let's say he just can't make the blade, right? Well, he's just completely destroyed all the Datanseki ore they were going to give back to the Mikaboshi. Mind that this is their god, so he basically killed part of their god.
Yeah, he's
They're
just
gonna
shipping
kill
it
them
all over.
immediately. Screw the princess, dude. They're gonna nuke you.
Yeah,
He's just screwed them. Period. He has screwed them no matter what happens.
I see him as a man being moved by, or he's moving with urgency for, the woman that he loves. She's like no self autonomy. She's not gonna move on her own wants, needs, her own There's no sense of an individual in Chiaki anymore. The clan wiped that out of her. The Princess Soga Station just, basically created this facade, and she just more so lives as that facade than who, you know, what
Mhm.
she actually wants now. And he definitely knows that, because they were talking less like a year ago from this moment, about, or roughly around then. And so he has some kind of semblance of like what's going on, or like how she feels, or this, that, or the other. But if he knows she is basically going to accept this, because he knows what's about to happen, because Asumi filled him in, which W mans for telling him too. If no one's going to step up for what's right, you know, because they're basically just using her as a piece to, because the main branch of the Soga family have a baby now, so they can get the source. That's why, like, so they're just like literally casting her to the side, and or they're cool with that. And poor Chiaki's there, like almost gaslit to some degree, and you know, like she wants to protect people, and sure, like, you know, if that does protect people for a time being, but Kunishige chose to act with the vindication that he's like, I'm not gonna fail, you know, like, yeah, it said that, but basically her prophecies are told in a way that where the people that are involved can preempt them, and which he does, and then he knew that he could do it, and so like he trusted himself. The man's, you know, hey, Dice, put Kobe's face on
but
Kunishige.
like at the end of the day, yeah. But at the end of the day, yeah, the dude trusts himself. But the thing is, he's never forged with this metal before. This could go wrong because he doesn't know something about it. He has complete confidence in himself, but at the end of the day, that confidence is him being a little like selfish. Because there is so many aspects of this ore that could be different. Maybe his eyes aren't 100% correct, but he doesn't take that into consideration.
What if the baby plan
is his only way forward?
What if they sniped this 6-month-old baby out the sky before they could drop the nuke on him?
Mm-hmm.
Like, we don't know how that, if
what,
that
what
plan
if
is
Chiaki
foolproof.
comes out already knowing hands? Like, they don't have to spend like what 3 months and then drop her. What if they could just like straight up drop her immediately?
But like, if that plan doesn't work, then they lose anyway. So he's just, and even Subaru says that the Hiyuki plan is bullshit.
Yeah, well, I mean,
you know, it's like, if I think if, like, I wonder if like Subaru, if they genuinely had a better plan, you know, would Subaru still choose to help Kunishige if they had a actual true viable way to like fight against the Mikaboshi other than relying on a baby?
Yeah, I don't necessarily think so. I mean, I think if the Sorcery Bureau had a you know, what's the proper way to say it? Like, I guess like an ethically, you know, not as morally bad alternative, or something that it actually is kind of sound in terms of an option, you know, like an actual sound option that doesn't necessarily involve dropping a 6-month-old baby on a battlefield, basically sacrificing you know, herself. I think Subaru, as much as he probably lives for what he sees in Kunishige, because you can just tell that he's enjoying every moment of it. It's like he tells Kunishige, like, he's aware that the alternative was garbage. If the alternative wasn't garbage, I feel like he wouldn't exactly just help Kunishige for the love of the game, but it is what it is. Mike, maybe I kind of misunderstood or you know, something in terms of like your whole point on Kunishige, but it is like someone said in chat, like Nerv says in chat, is the fact that Kunishige is taking measures to avoid like having the whole city blow up, but rather, like he says, only they would die. Does that not like change anything for you? The fact that he's
that changes nothing, because the dude, he's never worked with nuclear metal before. I feel like we're severely underestimating the fact that this is literally nuclear metal. He doesn't know that this will work, mind you. He just believes it will work.
But I would also say it will work. This man also grabbed that nuclear material with his bare hands while everyone was afraid to touch it. So it's not like baseless for him to at least have a way better understanding than any of them. Like, not saying he knows everything. Sure, that's fair, because there's still, you know, there could still be a chemical some kind of chemical reaction or whatever. But
For all we know, water could in fact make the explosion worse. He has no proof of this shit. He just fully believes it's true. And yeah, has it turned out to be true? Yeah, it does. But
Yeah,
one
yeah,
day
of
it could
course.
turn out to not be true. And we know that happens because Akamura happens. And he was Kunishige's most trusted ally. So Kunishige can be wrong because Kunishige has so much faith in himself that it can eventually have negative effects on other things. Because always believing what you say and always believing that you're right will make it so much worse when you turn out to be wrong.
hey, but
Yeah, I think
he's a grade A1 when it comes to swordsmithing. He's never wrong in that. But picking people or judging people, maybe.
yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, 100%. And I think there is kind of like a middle ground to all this. You know, the fact that Kunishige was able to take one look at Seki and just basically put together things that it took the researchers at the Sorcery Bureau years to figure out does like indicate that his understanding and his, naturally gifted eyesight just puts him on another level. But I also like very much understand where you're coming from, Mike Up. Just the idea that there are unknown variables, and it is very just kind of cocky, for lack of a better word, to just assume that you can control those variables, which of course, again, that's what his eyes are all about. But it's kind of like not really respecting the idea that even if there's like a 1% chance that something could go wrong, treating it as like that, it can go wrong.
It's
And
reckless.
yeah, you think you can. Yeah. Yeah, so I think that's kind of like one of these things that makes Kunishige's character pretty interesting now that we're getting a deeper or like a more proper look into like his whole character rather than just like the bits that we got.
No, but
One.
I like this a lot. I want Kunishige to be a
Yeah.
flawed person because I think that makes him such a more interesting character.
Oh, 1,000% agree. Do you guys think, and this is something I wanted to ask you guys earlier before I had internet issues, and I guess I'll just pose the question this way since we're talking about Kunishige. Is he the best written character so far in this arc?
Yeah, I just want to, a little side note. I hate the
Go
term
ahead.
best written and like a best
I get
writing.
it.
That's such like a subjective
It's
thing.
subjective.
I
Yeah.
agree. I agree. So I guess just opening
Bro,
the floor for like y'all's opinion or like who's writing him
who's
these
your
shows the
best
most.
written
Let me phrase it like
character?
that.
I guess.
Yeah.
For me, it's like a tie between a lot of characters because I could feel like you could ask me like a random like Sunday, and then you could ask me the next day, and I'd probably say two different people.
Okay. So who you
No,
got
I
today?
just
Today,
think
who you got today?
writing is very just like how I'm feeling, right? Because sometimes sometimes I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
Samura is so complex and interesting, but then other days I could literally just be like, Hokuto makes me laugh. I like Hokuto.
Yeah, and we know like you don't hold back when it comes to slandering characters either. So I mean, I know Uruha's never gonna be among your among that list, right? So but yeah, because like for me, for example, I'll just go ahead and say who I think it is. For me, it's probably a toss up between Kunishige and Chiaki. I think Chiaki right now there's a lot more meat on the bone when it comes to what we've gotten from her. So I think Chiaki's kind of like I won't say best written then, so I'll just say like my standout character of the arc so far. I think Hokazono's been pretty brilliant when it comes to her character, and I feel like he has still so much more to do and say. But for me, Chiaki, I've just kind of like eaten everything up in terms of like how he's presented her like since the beginning, and then just kind of like slowly giving us more look at just how tragic her position is. So yeah, like for me, Chiaki just kind of takes it away.
Mm.
And you're talking specifically just in 113 to 125, right?
Yeah, exactly. This arc. Yeah.
I would probably have to go with. I'd probably go Kunishige. He's moving me the most. I mean, I like Chiaki a lot too. Chiaki's mama, she ain't so bad either. But the
Mike agrees with that.
Masha, oh yeah, he likes
Yeah,
her.
no.
Oh yeah, that's right, he does. But I also gotta say, but like, Hasumi's he's never gonna be like the pretty answer, and he doesn't have like a long term. But as I say, he's like that underdog. Subaru, I think, is gonna be, just continue getting better. um Mashiro, like Mashiro's character is like such a short-lived character, but had like such like like Haibara done right, basically, is like Mashiro. You know, like that dude, short-lived, but he balled out, did his thing. And like his dynamic with Shiba was something that was like kind of, you know, that was nice to see, especially in the chapter where we got like Shiba's the reveal of his sorcery. I think that was you know, those are like the standouts, but overall Kunishige for me. Oh wait, Hiyuki's mom, what am I talking about? Hold on.
Oh, stop it.
Here we go. It's gonna be a long story. Hokuzono be loving that black lipstick, man. I don't blame him still.
He knows how to use it right as well. So yeah, I think Shiba's also up there. As well. Like what we got in Hiroshima, I thought was for his character did a lot, and I think we've still yet to see the bulk of that. I have to come back. Give me a few. I have to step out just for a couple of minutes, guys.
Yeah.
So I'll be back in a few. Right.
This dude I've said his favorite character is the guy that proposed letting baby Hiyuki fight for them. Hey, I don't know, that guy. He's not around in the present time. Half those those old gooners are alive or at least around in the present time, which is so funny. We saw Kazan and we didn't see him say a word. Like, how did that boy really came up with some like hella like top tier campaign and to be the top number one guy in the Kabanabi.
Some crazy. There's like so many events that are coming up in the flashback that I'm so curious about.
Like what? Or I guess what's like one that you're like hoping? What's one that you're hoping for comes like the?
Well, I'm waiting for that the Kunishige "I'm your best bet" moment.
Yeah,
that's what I'm really hyped for.
That's gonna be hard. He's like, yeah, now I mean, really, he's like, now all y'all got is me. I'm your best bet. Like, that shit. Oh boy, you know, Izaru was just seething when Chihiro said that. But when we cut back to like the, you know, from hiatus, what's the next moment you think you're looking forward to aside from that one? I guess more so regarding like around the events of the war.
I just got like so many questions.
For me, it's Ibiki.
Still on.
I just want to see the sword bearers kind of all convene, and you know, when they start choosing who gets what or how that process goes down. And I just want to see Ibiki. So. I mean, is there a sword bearer that you're more so looking forward to than the rest?
I mean, nah, just Pink Bear, bro. I'm hooked.
Pink Bear.
I'm so hooked on Pink Bear, dude. I got so many theories. I got so many hopes. I just cannot wait.
I'm hoping she's like Unohana. Kind of like a
Unohana?
demon. Like demon, ready one to fight. Like, she is like that, like, smoke demon out of the original sword bearers. More so than, like, anyone else. But I don't know, like, you know, yeah, I do think like you know, once they have to go through with Kunishige's plan and the Enchanted Blade project kind of gets in full throttle, I guess, do you think that they're gonna need to get any more Datanseki, or do you think them diluting it with I forget the name of the stuff that they put in with it, but basically they said they put 10 times the amount, that like that basically diluted it and diluted the Datanseki enough to basically, you know, a little goes a long way type of thing. I think it's like 10 to 20 kilograms of like raw material they need, or tamahagane, to craft a katana, and you know, they only got 36 kilograms of Datanseki, at least by real world standards.
Oh, this month is gonna be torture. It's like actually gonna be torture. Like at first I'm like, okay, a month, it's not bad. I've had worse breaks. I've had to deal with like Hunter x Hunter, but I'm kind of let it sink in of how used to reading this weekly I am. It's gonna be a struggle.
Yeah, I mean, a good thing you're probably gonna be making content on Hunter, right?
I think I'll do like every like 3 chapters. I think I'll do a video. I think that's kind of been my plan. I don't think I'll do weekly for it because that series
It's a
is so hard to make
girthy.
weekly. It's so hard. I'm kind of like realizing, oh my god, those chapters are gonna be a nightmare to find good translations for if they fuck something up.
Oh yeah, facts.
Literally.
Those later year Togashi chapters just get thicker and thicker.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, plus well the anime, those screenings are gonna start happening pretty soon. The next coming
Yeah, no, that
cons.
episode is getting leaked within an hour of the screening. There is no way it is being kept safe.
Oh, facts. And then we'll see a lot of people who are like anti-leaking. They're gonna be watching that bitch. I bet.
Yeah. Honestly, the episode is probably just going to be the exception for policies like that because it's an episode.
Yeah. I
If
think
I'm being
it's a
honest,
sliding
I'm watching
scale.
that shit.
Yeah,
I'm watching that shit, bro.
I don't really
I ain't waiting.
put it on no one. I really don't care if people read leaks to begin with. I think just have the common courtesy for other people that don't want to see it. That's how my thing
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
But yeah, but I guess what was your highlight moment of this arc so far?
So far, like the number one highlight for me.
I mean, it could be
honestly,
the Hiroshima, the battle, or if there's like a specific moment in the battle you liked, or
stuff
just a character
involving like
moment.
the Sogas has been so interesting for me. Just anything around the Sogas has generally been hooking me.
The Soga stuff, yeah.
Yeah, I'm so invested in anything to do with them.
So what do you think is going to be Giyu's like character trajectory going forward?
Dead.
Like how far along do you think? Do you think he's making it closer
Oh,
to
I
the
think
end of the war?
I imagine we're gonna get a. Oh yeah, definitely. I think after the war, because I imagine this flashback. I mean, it really depends on how long Hokusano plans to make it. I'm honestly thinking he might do a half with it. Like he might like cut it in half and then give us the other half later. Because like genuinely, this could be like an 100 chapter long arc because there's so much stuff to cover.
Yeah,
like we got to meet all the other Enchanted Blade users,
and it's just
have their
more
characters
dense.
rounded out.
It's just becoming more and more
it's
dense
gonna go
the
on
further
a long
we go.
time.
Like
I imagine we'll cut back to the present and then we'll have another moment where like Shiro has to like figure something out, or maybe everything just settles down for a little bit and then we're gonna cut back to the flashback.
Yeah, like one thing about Giyu, I want to say that Blood really thinks he's gonna get the Kuratsuchi ability. I think it's gonna be so funny when Akamura awakens it and then trades that bitch in for the Magatsumi. Like saying,
yeah,
fuck this clan, fuck y'all. I'm going with the almost
homeless
guy.
I think he's gonna have a moment. Like I'm still very much of the opinion he's killing his entire clan. But I think he'll do it with just like, I don't think he'll even do it with the Magatsumi. I think he's doing that by a sword. By a regular ass sword, he's killing it.
Do you think there's like, if that let's say that does happen in that scenario, do you think there's a possibility that maybe Chiaki sees it kind of happening and she goes to like step in and stop him and he's the one that kind of kills her?
I don't think she's dead, honestly.
I've
always been of the opinion she's alive.
Where do you think she's at?
Being a deadbeat, much like Kagurabachi style. I think she's being a deadbeat, but she's out there right now.
I mean, it could, if she is, it could be just that with society knowing about sorcerers, that alone broke the pack of the Soga Princess, or what the Soga Princess meant in terms of like sorcerers leaving the regular society alone. Or it could have been like some of the citizens just kind of, had unsavory opinions of sorcerers for some, even though they fought for Japan. And, because we know that there were shitty people, in the group that fought in the war. Because, I mean, we see the clone sorcerer bring it up in the, 6th chapter. So I don't know. I think I'm most invested in seeing Chiaki's, what her trajectory is gonna look like, because obviously, the war is just about to start. Then it's a 17-month long war, so presumably Kunishige isn't gonna crack it until another like 8 months or something like that. And but that's when we should start seeing like the Akamura, maybe the Akamura Kunishige bonding starting to happen. Like I'm waiting to see how Hokuzono executes those moments. Like during the midst of war, are we just not going to see some of the war and just kind of cut to like important moments and get more so those character moments from Akamura, Chiaki, and Kunishige, all chilling?
Yeah, it's gonna be a hard thing to balance out. It's another thing that I'm very curious of how he's gonna handle.
Yeah, because it's like as you said earlier, it's just I think there's a lot that the fandom wants to see out of this war, and then there's not everything is important to actually see. You know what I mean? Like we don't need to see Samura really. We've basically got we can see him like in passing, or maybe maybe when he fights the Guardian we could see some, but really we got a whole lot of Samura, an overabundance of Samura almost in the first part. And say like Azami, we got a lot of Azami. We got a like the female bear, Subaru. But you could argue Subaru's getting his time in the story now. But like Ibiki, this is his only chance to get any time. So I'm wondering like who he's gonna like prioritize. I almost would like prefer him not to like show much of the female bear, and she be the only original sword bearer that makes it to the end. Like, and we get her story arc or more of her character arc in the present time, and she picks up her sword back up to kind of like pair with that like smoke demon. She's like, "Oh, I could use it again." I don't know. I guess Dice. Let me see. We probably gonna get ready to cut this off because we can't go too much longer, over an hour and a half anyway.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna just talk to chat. I mean, if you want to dip, you can dip, but I'm just gonna talk to chat.
No, I'm gonna talk to chat for a bit too if they got good questions at least.
All right, let's see. Lawrence, what's good, Lawrence? He says when the team pulled up on Hiroshima, yeah, that was a gas moment. Bambi, I know you guys said you weren't believers of the Datanseki having some extraterrestrial or mystical background, but I feel like Hokuzono is setting that up with the professor's recent comments on the stone. It's interesting that there's a obviously it could be Soga. The Soga made that book just to kind of have propaganda, but the way that stone just was under the sea. But then it also, that earthquake made it started sprouting ore on Hiroshima. It is interesting, like what that's all about, or if he'll even go deeper on Datanseki, because he's already gone deeper on Datanseki than I thought he originally was going to.
What's going on with Datanseki is so creepy to me. Like they're talking about it like it's evil, like at its core, it's evil.
It's like a Cthulhu, wishing stone.
Yeah.
Let's see. Topside Nerd says Giyu is the little brother and over his head archetype. Yeah, facts. Definitely. He's like, I'm about to take over for my brother. Nah, buddy, you are not that guy, pal.
I'm not that guy.
Yeah, Akamura was dead ass like Hiroto. He was that dude. He wouldn't do this. Hiroto smokes cigarettes, not them long ass little pipe things. Pause. Let's see. To me, the initial Seitei War arc double spread was a direct statement from Hokuzono saying, "We're getting the entire thing start to finish," which that is one moment that's gonna be fun to see. All those badass sword bearers with EBs being forced to just like stay back and fight for their life while he's just doing the malediction. let's see.
Okay, I'm back. What's up?
What's up? You were right at the buzzer
Not
beater.
much. We're just talking to chat right now.
Yeah, like when do you think Sheba beat up the higher ups and leaves? Dice?
He says he did that right before he leaves, so that's not going to be something we see till towards the end of the flashback.
So possibly after Malediction? Most likely, right?
Definitely after Malediction. It's going to be when
Yeah.
they're deciding what to do with the enchanted blades.
Yeah, I mean that's gonna be fun to see. Honestly, I'm here for it.
Yo,
I think
Dice.
Izaru's probably gonna get it. Yeah. Go
Oh
ahead.
no, I wanted to ask you the Bambi asked talking about, but I'll just tell you what they said. I know you guys said you weren't believers of the Datanseki having some extraterrestrial or mystical background, but I feel like Hokuzono is setting that up with the professor's recent comments on the stone. So how now does your opinion change on how you feel about the handling of Datanseki in the story, or you think we're going to go deeper to something that more so that route?
I mean, I don't necessarily think it's like out of the question. I don't think it's impossible. I think Hogazono could allude to like Datenseki's origins, being something beyond what we're used to seeing in this story. But as I'm sure a bunch of creators have already talked about, and it's been said around how like Hogazono has said in that one interview a couple of years ago that this is very much a grounded conflict about humans. I think that's where the scope and the focus will remain.
I don't really think. I mean, there is some stuff going on that's weird about the Datanseki, but I more think it's more about the way people see gifts than it is the gift itself. There is some sort of innate life within the Datanseki. That was so said by Chihiro, but that
Yeah,
innate
the
life isn't
conceptual life
evil or
stuff.
good
Yeah.
per se. It's how people treat it or how people see it that makes it good or evil.
Yeah, I agree with that, and I think that can kind of like a similar um kind of like a similar approach can be something that we see in terms of what I'm talking about. Like we can see kind of like I said allusions to something much bigger when it comes to the Datsenseki. I just don't think the story will really focus on it. I think the most we'll get will be what like Mike up just alluded to, the fact that there is life within the Datsenseki, and it's about like how that translates to what we're seeing, right? I don't think Hokuzono will really go too deep on like the Datanseki specific lore and escalating that to like a completely different conflict where like now we're fighting the guys who created Datanseki, which are like aliens
Alien
or
Bachi? That's the next lobotomy meme out the
Not even
fandom.
in Modulo
yeah,
yet. We already got aliens.
yeah, exactly. So I don't think we'll get that, at least not anytime soon, or as it relates to the current scope of the story that is currently being told. But yeah, I think all of that is really interesting, and knowing how much of a fan Hokuzono is of like cinema in general, and how he seems to take a lot of inspiration from all sorts of things. I wouldn't be surprised if he has some headcanon about how Datanseki relates to again, whether it's aliens or like other not cosmic. I'm
I blame
kind of missing the
ET.
word right now. Okay, buddy. Not one of the most iconic and impactful films of all time. Uh, but yeah, I don't know. I don't think we'll get really any focus on that, any real focus.
Gotcha. Is there anything you want to talk about? Because I know you had to step away for a minute before we wrap up.
You want to bring up?
No, I mean not really. I think we've kind of again even we have been a bit all over the place, but I think we've covered basically most of the things that have gone down. Obviously not in detail, right? Not beat by beat. There is obviously a lot more than we can discuss, but I think all of this is still pretty fresh. I know, we're all making content when it relates to what's being covered. We're obviously going to be on hiatus for a while, so these discussions aren't really going to go anywhere. We will be talking about everything that we've seen in the last couple of months for the next couple of months. So no, I don't have really anything specific
Not me. I'm
I
entering
want
a
to get
vow of
into.
silence.
Of course you are. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. Do you guys have any like crackpot theories or just any
No,
thoughts you guys want to get out there?
I'm dry. I'm shooting
I'm kind of out of
blanks.
crackpot theories for today.
All right.
All right. Well, I
Yeah, cool.
think that'll do it for us. Appreciate everyone pulling up. Always love. Join the Discord, all that good stuff. We'll kind of update y'all on what's going to be our plans for content for this hiatus. We do have some things going on that we already have an idea of what we're going to start working on them, but make sure to go check out Mike Up's channel.
Yep.
Mike Up, if you want to talk about whatever video you got coming up next, or if there's anything you want to plug, go ahead.
We're gonna Ichi video right now.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm working on it. I kind of put it down a while back, but now I'm trying to finish it.
Cool.
Okay. You rocking with it? I
Sony,
know you and Bingo
my
collabed
boy.
on that one video.
Yeah, we had some interesting things to say about the series. I rock with it, but it's more about some of my problems with the villains so far in the series. But I also do quite like the current one. So it's more so like, hey, I like this. Please stop doing this, though.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate you joining us, Mike. This was a fun
It's no
talk. I
problem at all.
apologize. I had to step away for a bit, but this was fun, and we'll for sure have you on again.
Zony, my goat, my son.
Hey, Zony, ReZero will be back soon. Just got to wait a couple of months. It's funny enough, it'll be back when Bachi's back. So, yeah, no Bachi, no ReZero. It's going to be tough. You watching ReZero, Micah, or have you checked out ReZero?
Cascade, Sieben.
Yeah, I watch ReZero.
You rock with it?
I rock with it, especially the Amnesia arc. Usually I despise Amnesia arcs, but I really, really liked it.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of ReZero. Ty knows.
Dude, I don't even know you. What are you talking about?
All right, man. Okay, let's wrap it up then.
Yeah, no.
This was fun, guys.
But appreciate y'all, Zony. It's all good. Don't worry about it, Papa. Sieben, Cascade, Rage. Y'all have a good night. Oh, Jaden Perry. What's up, GOAT? I didn't see you there. Oh, that's right. I actually responded to one of your questions. When do we think Shiba fights with the higher ups? It's at the end of the war. How they when they're handling Kunishige. I agree with them. But all right, guys, we're getting out of here. We'll catch y'all later. Like I said, hit the Discord up for updates, and we'll also post a community post sometime once we have it figured out. Bye.